This is a bush right by the garage, and you can see something right in the center of the screen moving around in the plants that are planted there. You see that? It just like dropped down a little. That's one of those entities. And I've discovered a lot more things about them, some really disturbing things. I definitely don't think they're good. What are those two white objects right below the bottom leaves on the bush? Almost looks like two. That's freaky. It looked like two heads, two little small whatevers, talking to each other, kind of facing each other. It's almost like skeleton heads. But that can't be that. Although I've seen some strange things lately. Dang, it's hard to hold this steady. See how they move, those two white things? They're kind of like they're having a conversation. Well, I'm not going to dwell on that. Right there below them, though, that there was one of those entities that just dropped down. For a second there, you could see the hole in the center of it. It wasn't lit up, though, like it sometimes is. It was just dark in the center. They always keep it fuzzed out around them, though. See if there's any. There was one right there in the corner, but the other day, but I don't see it. Actually, I think that is it right there, but it's kind of facing the house to the right because it looks like the tail behind it, and you can almost see the white little spot. Jeez. I get. Well, I'm gonna look around instead of keeping it right there. Shoot. I'm gonna have to scroll the image itself. I'm trying to get the image to clear up. I'm gonna try to hold the phone against my. Hold it steadier. There we go. You can see a couple striped tails right there. See how they're like dark light, right in the center. I always try to keep everything in the center that I'm speaking about. Oh, it's finally clearing up the image there. Yeah, see the like black and white stripes? I'm trying to see where the body is for that one. And there's another one of those white things. Right there in the center. A few more. Oh, you know what those white things are? I believe egg sacs. I believe that, I don't know, it must be these guys. That must be their egg sacs. You can see a dark mass in the center of two of them. Once again, it's right in the center. Now the one up there that I now have in the center, you can't really see anything dark in it. But these two, you can make out something dark inside them. I've seen them hatch before, and they'll just open up one end and you'll see a little dark mass inside start to wiggle its way out. There it is. There you see the dark spot? It just opened up a little. It's not. I'm gonna try to hold it steady and watch. Keep watching it. You'll probably see the dark spot again, right in the center. You see the two white bulbs. They're kind of oval shaped. What the hell? There's something in the center. You see, there's like, I think that's the body of one of them. You can kind of see a circular gray shape. You know what's getting really crazy about this? I saw a couple images from one of those rovers on Mars, and these things are on video. Of course, it's just still images, and NASA, of course, didn't say that's what they were. I have an image of one that, when it was seen, people started, like, really talking about it, and NASA said that they weren't willing to turn around and investigate it because it would have cost them too much to have reprogrammed the rover to turn around and go back and look at it. What kind of horse crap is that? They're there. One of the purposes is to try to find life on that planet, and you're telling me when there's potentially a life form found, they're not willing to go back? They know about it then, obviously, which is not good. But these things, when you look at their shape, and also I found out now that these tentacles I see, it's just one long one beneath them, and then they have 6 shorter ones that extend out, not very long. The short ones are only a few inches long. The tail is pretty long. What does that remind you of? A round body with 6 small things, I guess, for possibly to move around, and a long tail. Kind of like that thing from the movie Alien that would put an embryo inside people that would turn into the alien. That's where they got the idea from that. That's once again people using Hollywood to soften us up and get us ready for the truth one day. I'm not waiting on them. I'm going to expose this as soon as possible. But that's exactly what these things look like. And those little white egg sacs are like the egg sacs you see, where, of course, they're a lot smaller than the ones in the movie. I think the ones in the movie usually stand about 2 feet, 2.5 feet tall. And then one of those, I forget what they call them, one of those things pops out and runs to the nearest person and puts an egg in their stomach. These things aren't quite that aggressive yet, but that doesn't mean they won't be one day. There's enough of them here. Let me see what's across the street in the woods. Yeah, there's one there in the center, and you can see some of those little short tentacles. The bigger it is, of course, the longer they'll be. The ones on that one look to be about maybe a foot and a half long, and there's 6 of them. So one long tail, 6 smaller little short tentacles, and then the protuberance that sticks out, I guess, in what you would call the head, or it's because it's the opposite side of the tail. So I guess that's part of the head. But yeah, there's one right there. Scroll over. Oh, there's one up there. See the smaller little tentacles off that one right in the center? It's right there. It's kind of sideways. And then there's one kind of beneath it, right there, I believe. Although there's a lot more than 6 tentacles. I don't know what's on the underside of them yet, so there may be more tentacles underneath them. they're all over. They're everywhere. There's one right back there. Scroll over a little more. Oh, there's one right in the center, right there. It's also kind of sideways, but it you can still see the shorter tentacles pretty good. Can't really call them tentacles. I mean, they're not very long. Oh, you see that flash? They do that a lot. They'll like send out electrical sparks or something. I don't know what they're doing. But you'll see flashes a lot of time like that. There's something there though. Really dark. There's a tree, but kind of behind the tree there's probably a couple of them. Yeah, there's one right there. You can see those short tentacles coming off of it. See the center is kind of darker. It's kind of like a greenish, dark green, greenish gray. And then the rest of it pales out. Oh, right there in the center you can see one pretty good. It's all gray, the whole body. Right there. And then there's a lot. Ooh, oh. You can see the tentacles on the ground. Right down there. I'm gonna try to hold this real steady so we can see it. Come on, move your tentacles. There's one to the left of it. And there's at least two in that image. Right there in the center. Oh, I'll get off the screen. But yeah, you can see at least two real long tentacles, their tails, on the ground. These things are everywhere, of all sizes, big ones, small ones. Trying to see if they'll move a little more. Come on, move. They're not moving right now. I think these things are very intelligent. I think they can almost sense, even though I'm not even outside, they can sense that I'm watching them. Well. Oh shit. Remember that dark area? Now look at the things that are sticking out. Before it was all dark and hazy. Now there's... Oh, that's this area I was looking at a second ago. But yeah, it was all dark here before. When I was looking at in the beginning. When I said that there was a tree there also. And these things have come out from that darkness. Those are the two that we were looking at a second ago. Where their tails are on the ground. And then that's another tail there. To the left of them. Right there. They're chameleon-like. Besides the cloaking, where they make it all I mean, if I were to go outside, I wouldn't even see this. You wouldn't see them. That they wouldn't be there. All that would be there is a tree. For some reason, video picks them up, but they're still hazy. So their cloaking still works to a degree on camera, but not as good as when you're looking directly at them. But they're also chameleon-like. Even if they weren't cloaking, they can change color. They can be as green as the leaves on the trees, or they can be grayish, greenish. I think that's their usual color, is kind of a gray green. The main body, and then the tail goes uh, that grayish green, and then a dark, almost black stripe, and it just does that to the end of the tail. Yeah, they're moving around a little bit. You can see those tentacles have moved a little.